Good morning. Welcome back, Texas Patriot Off-Road and Outdoors. This video was prompted because my lovely wife recently got me an Esee 6 for my birthday, and I just wanted to do a little comparison between these knives on the counter here. Full disclosure, I am by no means a knife expert. I'm just a guy who likes knives, guns, side-by-sides, cars, trucks, and all other things off-road. And also, not all of these blades belong to me. This Cold Steel SRK, this Cold Steel Recon Tanto, and this Ka-Bar Becker BK2 belong to my sons. So anyway, we'll start with a little comparison, just kind of show you the differences and talk about what they're about. So we'll start with the Esee 6. Esee 6 is a made out of 1095 steel, carbon steel. It's got a 6.5-inch blade. It's around 188 thousandths thick, or 3/16 of an inch. It's got a drop point design. It's full tang, meaning the entire blade is one chunk of steel. It's got an exposed pommel. It does have a finger choil. It's got jimping on the spine here, better control. Some people like it, some don't. One thing I want to point out is I believe on their website they state 188 thousandths thick. Now I will say that starting right here, because it is a flat grind, starting up where the blade is ground, it actually tapers down to around 156 thousandths, or I believe that's 5/32 of an inch. So it is 188 thousandths here, but again, starting about right here, it does get thinner. But again, that's part of the design and the build of the knife. It's made like that. It's, great reviews on this knife out there. Haven't had a chance to use it with anything. Again, 1095 steel. Moving on, we'll go to the Gerber Strong Arm. This blade is made of 420 high carbon. I believe it will rust, but it's a little bit more resistant than a 1095. Again, full tang knife. Blade length on it is about 4 7/8. It's the shortest knife we have here in the bunch. Drop point design as well on this one. Great reviews on this online. I carry it occasionally. It's a great size. It's not too big. It don't get in the way. Exposed pommel here. This one actually has a point on the end. Good little knife to carry. Next, we're going to do the Ka-Bar Usmc fighting knife. I've had this knife for about 25 years, both this one and this Cold Steel back here we'll get to in a minute. I've had them about 25 years. They came from my parents' store. We had a Western Auto. Bought them back then. Anyway, this blade is made out of 1095 as well. It's about 7 inches overall length with a clip point design. It is fairly thin. It's about 165 to 170 thousandths thick. One thing you'll note on these, it has a rat tail style tang. It does come all the way to the end, but it's fairly thin here, so that can be a weak area where it could break. Now, this knife design goes, a lot of knives, current knives that we have today are based off of this design. You could almost say this is the 1911 of knives. Moving on next, we'll go to the Ka-Bar Becker BK2. This blade length is about 5 inches. It's a drop point design as well, 1095 steel, super thick blade, 1/4 inch thick. Kind of almost like a sharpened pry bar, they claim online. It does have a saber grind like some of these other ones do. Again, exposed pommel, full tang design, super heavy duty knife. Probably do some decent chopping with that. I am going to buy some scales for my son made out of micarta. I'll probably stain them a brown color, maybe look similar to this, just to kind of break up the design a little bit, or the coloration. Moving on next, we're going to go to the Cold Steel Recon Tanto. This is made out of a Japanese SK5 steel. This blade length is about 7 inches. As you can see, it's got a Tanto tip. The Cold Steel knives, a lot of them have the rat style tang, kind of thinner here. It stops right before this lanyard hole. Kind of a rubberized Crayex grip, they call it. Good, nice feel to it. Pretty grippy, soft. Good reviews on it. Again, the Tanto tip, excellent piercing knife. 7 inches long. And then moving on to the next cold steel, we have the SRK. Both of my boys have one of these, and we have them in their go bag. That's what they keep in their bag. Again, this has got the SK5 steel, and from my understanding, this is like a Japanese carbon steel that's very similar to American 1095 or 1085. But back to the SRK itself, about a 6-inch overall blade length, clip point design. Super good reviews on this knife online. A lot of good videos where people torture the heck out of them. Seem to hold up real well. Again, they do have the rat style tang here, so it is a little thinner than some of these other full tang knives like the Esee and the BK2 and the Gerber Strong Arm and whatnot. But again, they do hold up, especially when you consider the price. I don't know if I mentioned on the Tanto, but both of them again are 188 thousandths thick, which is 3/16 of an inch. Good little knife for the price. And moving on to the last one. This is going to be the Cold Steel Trailmaster Bowie. This is in carbon 5 steel. The blade length is about 9 inches. Super thick, thickest knife on the counter, 5/16 of an inch thick, if you can see that. We do have some rust on it. Again, I've had this knife about 25 years. I have used it in the woods, chopping things, saplings and whatnot. Holds a really good edge. It's kind of a flat grind, is what I'd call it. And then maybe towards the end, maybe it'd go even convex, maybe. Can hold a really good edge, sharpens easily. I've only sharpened it once or twice, it'll still shave. I will say every one of these knives on the counter are pretty razor sharp from the factory. Same type of grip as the other cold steels. Unfortunately, the rat style tang again on this one, but there are a lot of videos on this knife being tortured, being put in a vise, and people put a cheater pipe over the end and bend it, I think up to maybe almost 45 degrees, I believe, if I remember right. Super good knife though, a little bit long, but overall not bad. But that's it, that's the comparison. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Please click and subscribe. Thanks for watching.